Good, how are you? Uh, yes. Um, Snowy. Yes, it's very snowy outside. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I believe so, yeah. Hmm. Oh, wow. Hmm. Definitely, right. Hmm. 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 Right, right. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, thank you. Hmm. Sorry, I can't hear you. Everything's freezing. The screen isn't working. Okay, I can see you now. Okay, yeah. So I'm in my last year of university. I'm graduating in May, and I'm studying video production and journalism. And I really, really love to travel. And I started traveling in between my second and third year. I studied abroad in Italy. And then afterwards, I backpacked all by myself throughout Europe. I went to like 6 different countries. And ever since then, I kind of caught the travel bug. I've been to a few places in the US, I've been to Canada, and I'm hoping to go to Thailand within the next few years. So that's just a little bit about me. The one that I went to was actually in Paris, in France. So, yes. Mhm. Oh, yeah, I wanna go to that one too. Yeah, so one in mhm, yeah. Mhm, definitely. Oh, no, you're okay. What else do you wanna know? Um, so a lot of what I study is more news-based, which is not what I want to go into, but they teach you, like, camera techniques, how to interview people. They do a lot of multimedia things, so, like, how to work for a radio station or how to work for a newspaper or how to work for a TV station, things like that. So it's very integrated with all these different mediums, but what I want to go into is more of the video production, the shooting, the editing, all of that, and I really want to incorporate travel into that somehow. So that's my main goal. So college has definitely helped me get to where I am with my path with learning camera techniques and things like that. But I definitely want to break away from the news industry that a lot of graduates from a university tend to go into after they graduate. I went to Italy to study abroad. So I didn't stay with a family. I just took classes in Italy over the summer. I took a class in travel writing. I took a food and culture class, so we paired wine and we cooked food. So that was awesome. I would love to do that again. And then I took I took Italian, sorry, which was very difficult because it was a 16-week course that they kind of smashed into 4 weeks. It was very fast paced, almost too fast paced for me. But I would like to become fluent in Italian and visit Italy again. And then I did take another journalism class while I was there. Mhm. So so my school goes from January to April, and then we get a break for the summer. And then so during the summer, I went to Italy for 8 weeks. And then after that is when I backpacked Europe. I traveled to France and Germany and Austria and all those different countries that I went to. Mm, yes, definitely. Yeah, so I have not done couch surfing yet, but that's definitely on my to-do list. I definitely want to do that. But I have used Airbnb, not while I was traveling abroad, but I've used it here in the US for mostly when my friends and I go on trips. So last year, my friends and I went to Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. And so we rented an entire house for the week. And that was really awesome because it would have been so much more expensive to split us up into hotel rooms and we could stay in a person's home and see how they lived. And it was a lot cheaper and it was really, really awesome to be able to do that. But while I was in Europe, I stayed in hostels, except for when I was in Italy when I was in an apartment while I was studying abroad. But while I was traveling, I used hostels like Hostel World, Hostel Bookers. I stayed in, I want to say, at least 20 different hostels while I was traveling. Oh, okay. Mhm. Oh, you're not going to do that? Yes, definitely. What is it? I don't think so. Mhm. Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, right. Oh, this is very interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of this before. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Uh, okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's nice. Wow. Mhm. They travel by train, you said? Mhm. Wow, okay. Wow. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, right. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. Yeah. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yes. Mhm. Right. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Right. Oh, I bet. Wow. Okay. And you said you're going in March? Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed making that a lot. Right. Yes, I've definitely learned to only shoot what I need to shoot. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Right. Mhm. Okay. Yes, I've discovered that. Definitely. Yeah, I've gone on enough trips to figure that out. I've gone on enough, I've done enough traveling to figure out that I don't need to shoot every single thing that I see, especially when I'm editing it. It just becomes very repetitive and it takes a lot longer to do in post. Right. Mhm. Right. Right. Yes, definitely. Mhm. Right. That's what you need. Oh, yes. Yeah. Um, so okay. So I want to kind of review this past year because this year I don't exactly have a lot set in stone because I'm graduating in May, so I'm job searching right now, trying to find jobs and figure out where I want to be, if I want to be across the world, if I want to stay in the US. So a lot of things are up in the air right now. So I kind of want to touch on my study abroad and solo travel experience along with 2017 because I did a lot of traveling, more than I even thought I did. Because when I sat down and I wrote down my list of what I did in 2017 and where I traveled, I didn't realize how many places I had gone until I looked back at my footage, looked back at the videos that I posted on my YouTube channel, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I went all over the place. So when I went to Canada back in April, I believe, I kind of just decided that I wanted to go to Toronto. And so, in order to do that, I needed to figure out what the cheapest way to do that would be. So, I knew automatically hostels were cheaper than hotels. I knew driving would be cheaper than flying. So, I drove 6 hours across the border and stayed in a hostel. And I'm not sure if that was the best decision because there was a lady who was staying in my hostel who was the loudest snorer. But I got over it because it was cheap and I was saving money and I was able to put that money towards other things. Like I was able to go to the top of the CN Tower. I was able to drive to go see Niagara Falls and go on a boat tour driving right into the falls. And things like that are just so interesting to me because once you realize that travel doesn't always have to be about glitz and glamour and staying in the nicest hotels and eating the nicest food, and really enjoying your experience and going to the places that you want to go. So I started to plan way back in 2016, the summer of 2016, when I went to Europe. I actually got started by watching a lot of YouTubers. So I watched Hey Nadine, Damon and Joe, Fun for Louie, all these people who were like, you can travel and you can travel on a budget, which is awesome because, I'm in college. I don't have a lot of money to begin with, even though I'm working like crazy and I'm putting all this money towards travel. So it was a long process of me figuring out each and every little step because for the most part, I planned everything out. So for each, I decided that I was going to study abroad in Italy. And then I decided, okay, I have this many days until I have to go back to the US. Here are the countries I want to go to. And then I said, okay, which cities in these countries do I want to go to? And I planned out my my trip, and I figured out, okay, this is what I want to do in this city. This is how much it's going to cost. Here are the cheapest places that I can stay. And I kind of made my path that way. So let's think. How I save money by staying in hostels, like I said before. I saved money by going to grocery stores and buying baguettes and lunch meat and things like that instead of eating out in expensive restaurants all the time. I traveled with only my backpack. I bought a Farpoint, my Osprey Farpoint, and I stayed out of a backpack, which was a new experience for me because, I'm used to living like every other person in the US with like dressers and closets and like a bathroom, obviously, where I can keep everything. But it was very interesting living out of a backpack for almost 3 whole months. So I only brought two pairs of shoes. Um, and what else did I bring? Maybe like 5 shirts. Maybe I bought a sweatshirt while I was there. But instead of buying souvenirs all the time, I spent that money to go to new places. So I would travel every weekend and I was able to have that money because I had worked for 2.5 years before to save up and I didn't spend my money on souvenirs and I didn't spend my money on like new fancy clothes. Like I saved my money with the intention of using it for travel. Let's think. Um, um, I don't, I haven't made it yet. But it's definitely on my to-do list to make a video of what's in my backpack, what's in my camera bag, that kind of thing. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, okay. Hmm. Right, right. You need to look professional, definitely. Mhm. Oh, I bet. Yeah. Hmm. A tip that I've learned about packing is you pack everything you think you need and then you cut it in half because realistically, you're only going to wear about half of the clothes that you pack. So that really helped me squish everything into one backpack. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Um, Most people who own houses in the US, like I live with my parents right now while I'm not at school. So they have a washer and dryer in their house. But while I'm at school, there is a designated room in my apartment that has a washer and dryer. But a lot of the times in big cities, they'll have laundromats or the apartment complexes or the apartment buildings will have their basement maybe might have a room that's designated for washing and drying clothes. Actually, for my school, we have free laundry, which is fantastic. But to buy the actual washer and dryer is very expensive. Yes. Oh, okay. So yeah. For example, if you were going to a laundromat, I believe I haven't been to one in a long time, but I believe it might only be like $1 or two, depending on. Um, yes. Hmm. And usually not. Okay. Mm, okay. Hmm. Okay. Um, Let me think. Okay, yeah. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I personally have not been to South America yet, but I am trying to possibly go there. I might be in Costa Rica later this year, depending on how my plans go. But I would say the US, their transportation systems definitely need to be improved because in Europe it was so easy to just hop on a train and go wherever you want. But in the US, unless you're in a major city like Cleveland or San Francisco, they have public transportation, whereas a lot of cities, the best way to get around is by car, which isn't the greatest form of transportation. My favorite personally is a train. So this is why Europe was so great. Because if I wanted to hop on a train, I could be in another country in just a few hours. But the US is a great place, and I'm trying to see as many places and as many cities as I can. And I've checked a lot off of my bucket list. I've been to California. I spent my entire summer in California. I've been to a lot of places during the summer, Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina, and Florida. And I live in Ohio, so I've been all over there. But I would say it's more expensive just getting around because you have to either buy or rent a car, and then you have to fill up on gas, and you have to have insurance, and you have to get your oil changed, and all these different things. Whereas, like I said before, you can just hop on a train in Europe or use like a public bus or a tram or something like that if you are in a bigger city. So, mm, mm, mhm, yes, it's very handy to be able to take the metro, but right, right, mhm. Yeah, mm, right, hmm, yeah, hmm, right, hmm. Yes, I've heard that definitely. Hmm, hmm. Right. So normally when I decide that this is a place that I'm going to go to, I look on TripAdvisor. I say, okay, so what are the touristy places? What are the places that, I should probably visit before I leave? And then once I find a few of those, I YouTube. I search on YouTube. I say, what are some cool places to go see in blank, whatever location I'm looking to go to. And that's really where I find where I want to go. So, for example, when I went to Berlin in 2016, I knew that I had to um, I had to do a tour. And sorry, one second. It was called Alternative Berlin, and it was a tour that basically took you to go see the graffiti and the underworld of Berlin. Because Berlin is broke, it doesn't have a lot of money. The government can't afford to constantly paint over this graffiti. So our tour guide took us to go see different pieces of art that artists had done, which I thought was very cool. And while I was on the tour, he talked about an abandoned amusement park that was owned by the government and was super secure, and there was a very high chance you would get arrested if you decided to go visit. And so that got me thinking, and as soon as that tour was over, I was like, okay, so what are some abandoned places in Berlin that I can go to that are safe enough that I think I would be able to go to and not get arrested? So a lot of the times I plan ahead, but some of the times I just whatever happens happens. If maybe there's a local who says, "Oh, you need to go see this place," or if I meet someone in my hostel and they say, "Oh, we're going to go do this. Do you want to come with me?" So a lot of the time I plan ahead, but you just got to go with the flow is what I do definitely. Hmm. Wow. Hmm. 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 Right. Okay. Right. Right. Oh, you can't. Right. Oh, okay. Hmm. Right. Oh my gosh. Right. Hmm. Right. Okay. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Yes. Camping. Camping, yes. Um, yes, we would go fishing, we would go camping, we'd go hiking, and we had a pool in our backyard, so we would go swimming, my dad would barbecue, definitely all of that happens on the weekends. Mhm. Uh, okay. Wow. Mhm. Oh, right. Right. Oh, wow. Mhm. Right, okay. Mhm. Right, right. Wow, funny. Right. Mhm. Right. Mhm. Right. Right. Oh, that's very interesting. Mhm. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Mhm. Right. Yeah, that's always the goal, definitely. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Oh, I bet. Yeah. Wow. Yes. Mhm. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. No. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Right, right. Um, Ticket machine, I guess. Mhm. Oh, that's very helpful. Right. Mhm. Yes, yeah, we have exams, in May. So, it depends on the class. For me, with my major, it's usually not an exam, it's usually a project, so it's not too bad for me, but my friends usually have very difficult exams. Yes. Yes. Mm. Oh, yes, it's very, very high. Yes. We have to take out a lot of loans from the government, which is not very fun, but, I mean, you do what you gotta do. Oh, no, it usually takes much longer than that. Usually between 10 and 15 years. It's oh, yes, it's a long time. Unless you get a high-paying job, then it will be much shorter, but usually for the average person, it takes a long time. You have to manage your money, I guess. You have to say, "Okay, this goes towards my loan, this goes towards my house." So it makes it very difficult once you graduate paying back your loans. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Okay, yeah. Yes. So, my dad had saved up enough money to pay for my first semester of college, and then after that, I had to take out loans. So, for my university, it costs, without any scholarships, without any loans, the base price is about $30,000 per year, US dollars. And I get a scholarship because of my grades each semester, so I usually only have to pay about $12,000 per semester, depending. But so for a lot of that, I have to take out loans or I get loans from the government. And so it's not a fun process because you have to fill out paperwork every single semester saying, this is how much I need to borrow. I'm agreeing to pay this back when I graduate. Um, yeah, so that's kind of how it goes. I mean, there's cheaper alternatives and there's more expensive alternatives for when deciding which college you want to go to. But for the most part, I would say an average cost of a university in Ohio, the state that I live in, would probably be 15 to $20,000 per year. And my school is more expensive because it is a private institution rather than a public one. Hmm. You mean how much they earn from their job? Um, I'm not entirely sure, but I would say on average, maybe an entry level job would be $40,000 a year, $30,000 a year. That would probably be on the low spectrum. So an entry level job to graduate from college is probably $1,000. Oh, per month? I'm not sure about per month. Yes, yes, right, yes. Yeah, it depends on how many skills you gain and your experience when you're applying for jobs and if you get a decent job when you graduate. But that's what I've heard from people who I've known throughout college who have graduated. And I'm hopeful to see how my job searching process goes, to see where I end up in May, and hopefully I can figure that all out. I would say it's a case by case basis. So maybe if you're really good at your job and you get a lot of promotions, then you would be able to earn more money, obviously. But if you're just comfortable where you are, you do the bare minimum, then it's a lot harder to get up in the ranks with whatever field or industry you're pursuing. Hmm. 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 Okay. Hmm. Yeah, that's usually how it is in the US too. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Hmm. Right. Wow. Right. Definitely. Okay. Yeah. um, what got you into traveling? why are you interested in traveling? Like, why do you travel? Mhm. Yes, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. Mhm. Nice. Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's very helpful. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Right. Right. Mhm. 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 Okay. Mhm. Okay. Right. Mhm. Definitely, yeah. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes, definitely. Mm, okay. Mm, mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Mhm. Okay. 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 Right. Yes. Mhm. I have not visited Disneyland, but I've actually visited Disney World because the USA ha yes, there's 2. 'Cause Disneyland is in California, Disney World is in Florida, and I've been to Disney World maybe 5 times now, and I've never had to, pay for a ticket because I've always gone with family, but usually it's about $100 a day to go into the park. So it's not cheap, not something I would probably spend my own money on, but it is entertaining to go. No, no, no. Rides are all free. The rides come with the entry ticket, but you'll have to pay for food. Usually not. I would have to read into the rules, but I don't believe you can take in outside food. Yes, definitely. Right. Definitely, yeah. That would be the goal, but I'm pretty sure they don't allow you to bring in inside food and save money like that. Right. Oh, really? Okay, okay, that's true. Mhm, mhm, right. Yeah, definitely. Mm, mhm, yes. Oh, right. Yes, that's definitely, something I wanna do is to make a how to travel in the US, series for my YouTube channel. It's definitely something I wanna do. Mhm, right, right. Yes, it can be expensive. Right. Mm, okay. Mhm, okay. Mhm, right. Yes, definitely, yeah, thank you for that suggestion. Mhm, right. Mhm. Right, right. Yes, I'll definitely start doing that. Um, um, I'm not sure. You kind of answered any questions that I would have asked you. Australia is definitely somewhere I do want to go to Australia. So I follow a lot of travel vloggers and I've seen them go to Australia. So it's really inspired me to maybe not in the next few years, but maybe down the line. I definitely want to visit Australia. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would no, not bored. Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Hmm. 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 Yes, I've heard of it. Hmm. Okay. Okay, right. Mhm. Okay. Right, yeah. Okay. Yes, right. Right. Mhm. Yes, right. Mhm. Right, yeah, yes. No, I'm okay. I'm gonna have to, go pretty soon, though. Late. Yes, I did, thank you. Mhm. Okay, great. Mhm. Thank you, yes, I did. Um, yeah, we might as well. Bye, nice to meet you.